Welcome back to Island Tea with your faves, Kevon and Azem, featuring Jade Gwen Johnson. And it is now time to jump into Eat Local with the man himself, or more commonly known as BigLice. Welcome and good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Man,
Well,
it's
of course, no problem.
yeah, man. It's a real pleasure to be talking with a man such as yourself here this morning. Taking time to come and speak to just people like us. I mean, Jade is a superstar.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah,
Yeah, but the rest of us,
yeah.
But I look. I ain't even gonna cut no style before we even get
Maybe
deep.
I had a question for him.
Before we get even too deep into the conversation, you need to explain to me once and for all BigLice. Where that come from? Please.
Oh, that's an old story. I mean, I've said it so many times.
But not here.
Yeah, there's nothing intriguing about it. It's just that when I was small, I used to visit a neighbor. At the time, I think the individual was a sanitary officer. And he had some foul pens and so forth. I used to go there as a little youngster and so forth. And I saw a cockroach. And I, got excited and said, what a big lice.
Oh.
And so one of his kids, who used to be like one of my mentors, he put it on me, and so it's a stock. And then I got into different things, whether I played cricket or football, or even when I went to university, that was my name, BigLice. So it just
stuck.
Yeah, and I use it for Calypso too, so
Right.
it's just something that stuck.
But let me tell you something. You are a Kevon man. Is that fair to say?
Yes, of course.
You're a Kevon man.
A proud one, yeah.
A proud Kevon man. And I have said it here once. I say it up to yesterday. I believe that Kevon has a special gift for naming people. I believe
That is true.
Kevon got the best nicknames of anywhere in the world.
That is true.
Yeah. I don't even think you could call yourself a Kevon man if you ain't got.
If you don't have a nickname, you're not a KM man.
No.
You're not a KM person if you don't have a nickname. And it is something that's how we go up. And if we recognize that you didn't like it, we gonna do it even more. Until you give up,
Until you stick.
And so even now when I travel out and I see people overseas and so forth, and I call them by their known alias, nickname, as you would say, some of them get offended, and I say, but wait, this is what we know you as growing up.
Right.
I mean, you left the village, but that don't mean the village left you. And so
Indeed.
I know you as that. So
Right. That's
so
the
when,
name. That's the
when they
name.
get offended, I continue to call them that. Because of their name. I mean, I don't see why people get all twisted and bent out of shape for a name.
But to me, it's part of the tradition. It's part of what makes you a Green Valley,
Yeah.
a Green Valleyan. But let's start there. You said you're from Kevon and would have grown up and lived in Kevon for most of your life. What was it like coming up? And bear in mind that we're talking about you and interested in how
So it's about me, yeah.
and how that played into the man you
I
are
am today.
Right.
Yes. Well, I came from a humble beginning. I had a mother, and she had 8 children, and it so happened that 3 of those children would have lived with their father in those days back then, and so I grew up basically with 2. I was basically with 6 of us in a house.
Right.
I'm the last, so I was always privileged to get certain things that they didn't have and so forth.
Of course.
But I had a strong mother, a single parent, because of my father, who had 5 kids with her. He left to migrate to Canada. And so I grew up with a mother who was strong, and she was a Christian. She went to Seventh Adventist, and she insisted that we go to church. And so all of us growing up had that Christian kind of teaching, that background. I came up in the Seventh Adventist, and thank God that they had a lot of programs there that would give you some of the footing that you need to survive in a world like this. Like just to be able to read and to face crowds. They would
Right.
put you in front of the church early. And so I go up as Seventh Adventist with all my brothers, and Douglas Wattley, my brother Bernard, Faith, my sister, infamous mother, and there's one in Tortola called Gums. And our family was, and then I had 3 other brothers, Marcus. I don't want to not call names, and nobody say, we didn't call
But you
me.
ain't call me name by
Marcus. And I had Jomo in Puerto Rico, and one in Orlando, simple. But I always say, if I had to mark, we came from a very talented family. We played cricket, we did all the normal things. We weren't special. We played cricket, we played football, we played everything, and she still insisted to go to school because that was the main point, to get an education. You didn't have to be the best. You didn't have to come first. Just make sure you go to school and hear what they say and be average at least, that you can survive. And so that kind of set the stone for me in growing up, because I wanted to play cricket for the West Indies. I played a lot of cricket. I believe that is what I wanted. From an early age, I recognized cricket is the thing. And so school was secondary to me. I go to school and I do, but I am.
You go to school so you could play cricket?
Yeah, and I'm in charge of the cricket team. And then I play for Kevon and I go up. And I got a good chance, because I played Leeward Island youth cricket. I played West Indies youth cricket. I played cricket with people like Carl Hooper, Brian Lara, and all Jimmy Adams and those guys. Right. So I had a good chance of making it. But the support system here was not enough back then. And I see it happening now. Now I'm looking at the Olympics. We need to fix our support system to help. And I was listening to you talking about the hospital and so forth. What we need now in this new age, and I don't cut corners, we need some leaders and some practitioners with some vision. And not the same old guy that you give a man a job as a PS because he supported you and he put up a placard. We need to put people in place now who have vision and have the foresight and willing to make some hard decisions that some people would not even agree with.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, all of us going to benefit. How we can sell 4 passports to this hospital?
Right.
That's a serious thing. It sounds funny. But when you look at the cost of the passports and you put them there, that to me, it's easy to do. Easy to do. Just like you put in 31 millions for the peace, which you want peace. It's the same way we need healthcare that is strong, and we need this and so forth. And so I believe coming out, because of my background, I became, I want to say, an activist in community. I like activism. I like to do things in community. Not for me wanting to say I did it, but me just wanting to be a part of. And so I went off to university and I did public administration.
Where did you study?
I studied at Mona.
Okay.
But I started here at
the UE Center?
Yeah, because I worked there. And what happened, I worked there, and so it's like I worked with Miss Howell. I was there just working as a technician. I've skipped out a lot. If I had to talk about when I went to America and all those places, we'll be here all day. Because I went around the world, because my first area was computer system technology, really. And so I was the lab tech there. And I realized when I was there working, I recognized because you're working for the university, you can go to school free. Meaning that you don't have to pay tuition.
Right.
My mother always tell me anything free, take two.
Right.
And so I applied and they accepted me at the university. And so I did a certificate in public administration here. But knowing me, whenever I do something, I always believe I should pursue the next step. And so I applied to go to campus. Even though I had only had about 6-7 years working. Because I like the politics and I wanted to be more involved in the public administration.
Right.
And they accepted me. And so I decided I'd go in. I mean, I didn't have any money or anything put away. But I went to Development Bank, they gave me a loan. And I went and I did a degree in public administration, international relations, a double major.
Okay.
And then when I finished, that time government had a freeze on employment. So I came home this summer thinking that I'm finished. But as I say, the next step forward, I applied for the master's program. And then for some reason they accepted me. I said, wow. It's a stupid after all. And so I came home and I realized, boy, I ain't gonna get a job. And when I checked out the master's program it's 2 years, but 1 year is for thought, you go in class. So I said, I could go back, spend 1 year, and then when I finish, I could come back home and do the paper from home because you don't have to be physically present to do the paper. And so that's what I did, and I went and I spent the year, did the courses, came back and wrote my paper from here and went up, spent a couple of 2 weeks, finishing up and whatever. So, and that's where it ended, and then I came back home.
Okay.
So that is a nutshell what it is.
So, I mean, at this point, your initial goal was cricket supremacy and to be that,
yeah.
And then you also recognized that you had a passion for community, for people, and that would have led you into, and also for politics, and that would have led you into study what you studied. And so when you came back, right, at that point, what is your mindset? What are you looking to go into? Because now you have these degrees, you have studied this, you have learned so much, seen so much. Where is your mindset at this point?
Well, you know, if you look at the Calypso area, it was always controversial, attacking.
Right.
And you would understand.
You was a batsman?
No, I was a bowler. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you know, sometimes the bowler could be vicious. Eh?
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at my history of my development as a Calypsonian, or generally speaking, yes, I respect people. But at the same time, I believe when you put yourself up for public office, I don't know it's because I did public administration, you are poor now and open to scrutiny. And so you know got to answer to the people, because there's some words that they taught me, like accountability and transparency. I heard that day one in the class until I finished. And so I decided it's only fair. And so back then, I attacked PAM. You know, the Denzel history, I attacked Labour. And now people say I'm attacking Unity. And it's not a matter of attacking. It's a matter of holding people accountable for what the people put you there to do. You're there to serve the people. And so that is a difficult thing to do in these small communities, because everybody know you. And as soon as you get up and say you are going to be one responsible for holding people accountable, you are now given a label and put aside. And so it never worked well with me. And so even though I was a part of, and I could say that, I was a part of the change when Labour was in power, I worked hard to get rid of Labour because I wanted a change.
Right.
And my philosophy was not even so much the $900 million that they left, or the housing was doing well. I just think that nobody's supposed to be in charge of a country for so long. I don't care what you're doing. I believe there's always some sense of you believe now that you own your ownership and you want to own this, and you start to behave a particular way. And so I believe give somebody else a chance.
Familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah, give somebody else a chance. And when we were talking about bringing a different kind of governance to St. Kitts, the unity construct really came out and gravitated to the people. The people gravitated towards it because they were hearing something different, all the nice words and niceties. But to me, at the end of the day, when I really, investigate and look at what happened, really, it was as a matter to get into power. Because we are back to square one, where we are seeing the same old things happening under this administration, which they promised that they would never do. And that is the sad part, that we sat down as a people to say we wanted a change. And let's say, for instance, we talk about transparency. We made a lot of noise about the citizenship by investment, where the money going, and so forth. We made a lot of noise about that because Denzel had a plan which he never revealed to us. And that is what I'm finding out now. He had something, but he never revealed to us. As far as I'm concerned, the money was not managed properly. We made a noise about it. But now this government got in, his words, I don't even know how much passport was sold since they went into power, because they're not being transparent. So they fall into the same category, the same bracket of the former administration. And so going forward, to me, we have taken a few steps backwards in terms of our development as a democracy.
Right. So you have been very vocal about this, and one of the ways that you have for years really the platform that you've chosen in a lot of cases has been the Calypso stage. Like is that something that came out of a need to express, or did you have a love for the art form? And that's just how you express yourself in it? Like, how the whole Calypso thing came about? Well,
I know, as I said, I missed out a lot. I sang Calypso as a youth in school. So even though I wanted to play for West Indies, I was still doing other things. I won track, I did this, I did everything. Right. And so I sang Calypso in high school, Kevon High School. And I was the first Kevon High School king. And when I came in town, I sang and I defeated, I remember I came junior Calypso king.
Oh.
And I defeated Ayatollah, the late Ayatollah, God rest his soul. Yeah, we sang and I defeated him. For then, that time I was a police officer. That again you didn't know. I was a police officer.
Man, what kind of things back?
Yeah.
I just about to say, where you finding the time to do
I joined the force in 1983, and so for 4 years. But then, back then, I left the force because I realized the politics were creeping into the force. And I don't believe politics are about being police force. So I decided I can leave. I went to America, came back, taught for a while. So it's a whole
All kind of things going on. Yeah.
You seem to have one of the busiest lives.
Boy, tell him, you can't jump on me now though.
Oh, you're starting to feel it?
At a retired age, yeah.
But yeah, so tell me about like again, you've always been involved in Calypso and performing, but you have now become synonymous with these political, social commentary type of Calypsos. Where does that energy come from to year after year use that platform to express these things?
I think it's a family thing. I think it's a family thing that you have three of us that are very outspoken. The one in Angola, Bernard Wattley, and I'll come to him. Douglas Wattley, who did the programs, and myself. And I think it came out of, I guess, the setting that we had at home. And I recognize that I always wanted to defend the lesser man, the lesser person. And so I became somewhat of a voice for the voiceless. Because people would always say their story, but they're afraid to speak. And I, who didn't care what happened, would always take up that mantra. And God bless, what happened is that I have a brother who's very talented. And that's why I came back to him, Bernard Wattley. He is a writer, one of the most prolific writers across the region, in the Leeward Island especially. And we had a partnership together when he would write and so forth. And so he was the one who was writing for me all along, starting out when I began in the juniors coming up. And we always would go towards that to attack and so forth. And I remember in recent time, I guess after I came up from university, and having been exposed to these different theories as to how you could deal with things of public administration and so forth, I said to him, now, I recognize that you're a great writer and so forth, but what I want now, I want to start to hit hard. I move away from, and that's a decision I made. Okay. Some songs would have some pun and something and so forth. Yeah. But I recognize when I sang those songs, people only understood my song in February and March when I
got over the head.
My blues. I go straight to the point, because it's not that it would be the best song, but you will get the message across, and people will understand. And we start to be more pointed. And so when I came back from university and joined local job, and the little hoopla with then Prime Minister Denzel Douglas, the letter came out, and the letter was talking about myself and what happened, and that I think really took to a different level in terms of the Calypso art form. From then I became a regular finalist, and people were always looking for controversial songs. So you hear Enough is Enough, we didn't vote for that, Ask the PM, Timo, what you say, and so forth. So it's always along that line. Right. So everybody is now excited to know, well, this year, with so much things in the air, what's going on, the COVID and everything, and they say we're having a 50th, everybody's now
what BigLice coming with.
expecting, and so it put a lot of pressure on me to deliver, because I'm now thinking, what the hell am I going to sing now, Lord? So I'm still in the process now. I was in Nevis this weekend for a nice little outing.
You was one who went to sing Nevis?
Well, boy, I always up there, but they came up to help me. I always get away and go to Nevis and get some quiet time by Mems by the pizzeria under the mango tree. And sometimes when I'm there, some thoughts come to you and you give a different environment. So I'm trying to put some words together now, because what happened now, my brother in Angola, what we do now, because he's so busy writing here and there, I usually get my notes and tell him, this is what we're going to deal with now and so forth. You get the melody and so forth, get it together. And he has a very good way with words. Right. So I would send something and he would twist it around, saying the same thing, but in such a nice, flamboyant way. So, and that is how this thing is going. And it's been a successful situation between me and him. And, I don't know, everybody know that he was the one who wrote the song for Gloria. We it together. And I usually tell him, well, if I sing the song, I wouldn't have place. Because
that's what we want for you, man.
People can move me. I mean, I tried that already, and people say, boy, you're going to come again.
But I guess you're really correct, because with everything going on, we want to know.
Yeah, of course.
We want to know. So,
of course.
But we just mentioned just a while ago, you've been involved in so much, and it's so funny that you're here talking about this, because you're talking about great writing with your brother. You're talking about your willingness to put your voice out there and use the stage of that. And all I hear is like, but it's a combination that bring infamous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, being your nephew and things
Yeah,
like that.
it comes.
He come up in the family tradition.
It's in the DNA. Trust me, it's in the DNA. If you know the family tradition, it's in the DNA. And it comes from a strong-willed mother. I mean, she wasn't no nonsense. I mean, I had to go to church up until when I joined the force.
Right.
I used to be in church. My brother was an athletic guy, Dougie. He used to run well. I remember he sneaking out of church to come to Barnsley to run in the inter-championship. And he was a top athlete.
But he got to go to church
Yes,
first.
and then I had a brother before that who played for St. Kitts Cricket. And so he would sneak out because he had to come and play cricket on a Saturday.
Right.
But at the end of the day, when you get home, you're going to receive a beating, a tongue lashing and everything else. And that is the way she was, a strong woman. And so we grew up with a strong, stiff hand there to guide us. I mean, when I think back on myself, I am out there. I am a guy who's out there and so forth. And I never really gotten in any serious trouble. There was never any. I lived in America for 10 years, and there was never any urge for me to get in anything that was illegal or against the law, because I know how I was brought up. And so even though we're going to be disgusting and be here and there, if you have a strong family setting, if your parents know, could tell the children X, Y, Z, you don't have to worry when they go out. You don't have to worry about them. Any parent out there, once you have a strong hand and you tell your kids right and wrong, they're not going to love you at times. Because mothers love, is tough love. But once they give you that cushion and that preparation to meet out in that world, you'll be able to say no.
Right.
And I find that is something that is missing now in the terms of bringing up the kids. That parents are willing to defend their children when they're wrong, instead of telling them, hey, you were wrong, never do it again.
Right.
And so you breed these kind of things, and these are the things, as we should be looking at when we're talking about the peace program. The peace program shouldn't be just paying people to behave. We are making a serious mistake because we can't pay forever. The peace program should have been a rehabilitation kind of thing where you had psychologists and psychiatrists and different people of different background, having these people, speaking to them every day, having them under their wings, so that when the money run out, they have something to say, well, boy, you know what? I can't go back to that way of life. And even those who have gone and we can't get to change their mindset, start from the youth.
Right.
Start from the youth.
Recognize the societal thing.
Yeah, start from the youth. We got to because if we don't do that, they're going to breed another set of criminals that we're going to have to deal with.
Right. But, I mean, even so, you're talking about so many different things are involved in, from teaching, from whatever. And personally, it's like based on what I'm into, you're into something similar now, even entertainment outside of Calypso. You own one of the main night spots on the island.
Yes.
And I think that speaks to entrepreneurial spirit. That you have, that you possess. The pub seems to be a real center point for the community, right? Is that what your vision was for the space? Like what was your vision for what the pub was going to be?
It has performed much more than I anticipated over the time. And why I say that is that it started in a time when crime was high. And so I had tough times during that time because, back in the days of the gang, you couldn't make the money, you couldn't do this.
Right.
And you persevered because I had a job, and so the monies I made from government could have subsidized. And it has grown, and I've, created that atmosphere. But, with times, it come tough times and so forth. The COVID time has been very tough. Very, very tough. I mean, from last year, March, we would not have been able to perform to the best of our ability. And I'm saying, you guys who are in the entertainment world got to be feeling a lot of squeeze, because imagine for almost 2 years we haven't been able to have a major function. And entertainment is important. Entertainment to me is where you get to let go your juices, and so you don't have to be stressed because you can go out and dance, you can go out and have a drink, you can go out and party. And it has become a way of life for Caribbean people. And so right now, we are in the struggle. And I'm hoping that the powers that be will see the importance of the entertainment sector and really try and give us a little leeway so we can make some money. Because trust me, in the last year and a half, 2 years, nothing has done. Even when they give you a little 150, you can't pay.
Can't pay for the.
You can't pay. When you're doing that, you're only doing that to keep the patrons happy. But you yourself not making a profit. You can't even pay the electricity. You can't pay this. You can't pay that. And it's becoming more and more. It's becoming insurmountable. So I don't know. And it's a good thing about it because I have something in mind going forward, and you're part of it. Because I want to start to now take it to a different level in terms of, I don't want to give out whatever.
Too much. We're talking too.
But you know. But what I'm saying, as you say, I always look at improving.
Right.
It's been tough because I don't have millions. I don't even have thousands. I take what I make and put it back in the business. So basically, I'm always broke. Take it, put it back in the business. But I am preparing that for the community, as you say.
Right.
So that people can have a place. You don't have to drive to Frigate Bay all the time to have a drink. You don't have to go somewhere else to just have a meeting or have a, so I'm trying to create that space. You can have some time. You have some areas in it. You can just come and sit down and relax and so forth. If you want to burn a spliff, you come in a corner there and you sit down and you meditate.
Right.
That kind of setting I'm trying to create. But as I say, for the last year and a half, it has been tough.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going tough, so I'm willing to set it up. But I hope the powers that be would see and recognize that the entertainment sector is not an informal part of the whole sector, is a formal part of the sector that adds to the revenue, adds to the development of our people, because people development is also important, you know. It's not only economic development, but you have that development of the individual.
Right.
Somebody who's, look at Infamous and the iMark and these people who are full with so much talent, but they don't have nowhere to express themselves in a proper setting to move on.
Right.
Well, they're going to just be on the west side.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm really thinking that you share so much of the same sentiments that we talk about here on the show in regards to the importance of entertainment and the need for us to really figure out a way forward past the pandemic that really makes it feasible to even do what it is we do. You know, like it's not enough to say we'll do something. It must make sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. You and EK and others would have started a thing there, and I know those things are difficult to get going because somebody will always have an issue. Me not go with them, the odds, so forth and so forth. But I think it's a step in the right direction because we need a grouping with a voice to agitate or to represent the artists who can't do it for themselves to the various authorities.
Yeah.
And I think that it was a good initiative. I hope that you all haven't given up on it.
No, man,
we're working towards that because I think you all could end up in a position where you all could lobby and call the shots.
Yeah, and that's what we're working towards. So thanks for that support and thing. And again, time is upon us. Again, I want to thank you for taking the time out to come and speak to us. Greatly appreciated. You're somebody in the community who I always admire. And the thing is, I always look out for them attacking songs that you're talking about. Definitely part of.
Calypso sweet.
Yeah, it's part of the culture. It is necessary.
It is important.
Necessary. It's necessary. And so, again, thank you so much for coming and speaking to us. I'm sure this won't be the last conversation we have.
I'm always, as I say, I'm retired, so I have a lot of time. So anytime you feel like, I'm available. But I'm really grateful that you guys, called me here today to just, speak a few things about who I am, because sometimes they misunderstand me and who I am and what I stand for.
Right.
And so I'm glad that I was able to shed some light on certain things to know that. Because when Jade sent out the thing there and they put Calypso and somebody called me and say, but let them know you're social scientist. I said, no, I don't have to. That is the hat they want me to wear, so I'll wear that hat.
Trust me, we couldn't put all your hats on.
And that's what I'm saying. And those things mean nothing to me. Trust me, it don't mean anything to me because at the end of the day, you are what you are by your works, and not by just people saying. So again, thanks for having me. And guys, keep up the works and continue to address the issues that are dear to us as citizens and individuals. Trust me, people listen. Even if they think that people are not listening, people listen.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for that, and also thank the people who are listening,
Yes.
because apparently, there's people who log on and to be honest, there's a whole community of people who support us and come on board, and that makes it so much fun for us coming here in the morning. Big up Axman, big up Witty, big up Sebastian, big up Cleo, big up, and all the people that call in daily and be a part of the show. Man, you guys make it so much fun and make this thing work well that we come here and do every morning. And now it's easy to wake up. But you don't sleep. But it ain't easy for me and Kevon to wake up.
She's a busy person. Congratulations are in order for the CPL.
Yes.
I hear you get a big chucky there.
Oh, Lord.
And that's what I'm talking about. She will go there and pick up something to pass on to
For sure.
locals.
That is my plan.
Yes.
For sure. You're doing big things, yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
You're doing.
a good student of mine. So
I tell you so.
she has to be on that part. They know I'm a no-nonsense kind of guy, so they have to do it that way.
Indeed. But guys, it's Thursday, August 6th. Guys, August ain't sticking, August ain't sticking. We done a week into it. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to come and hang out with us this morning. The same time every morning, 8 to 10 on Monday to Friday. You could check us out online at Facebook and YouTube at WINNMedia SKN. You could also check us out on WINNMedia SKN's website. If you listen to us on the radio, you don't know it's 98.9. What's up?
Yeah, one thing. I recognize there's somebody here that he's just there and I
That's Kevon. He is definitely.
Where you operating from?
Well, we say he's in space right now.
Okay, because
Space.
it slipped me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the man right there.
Okay.
That's the man right there. When you see him start to talk, you don't know.
I realize that.
Yeah. A serious man that.
Oh wait, let me give context. Here we go.
I like that. Yes. All right, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. But guys, remember,